Hey guys, so coming on so that we can wrap up these beautiful earrings that we had started. Want to get them fully finished up, get them made into earrings, and then also clean up our edges, etc. so forth. So, gotta decide essentially what color hardware we want to do on these so that we can make them all pretty. I'm gonna grab our jump ring opener as well as our flat nosed pliers so that we've got some ability to make these. Let's see. Yeah, so our holes are needing drilled out. Looking at most of these, it's looking that way. So we'll go ahead and do that first. Have our deburring tool ready. Yeah, somewhat ready. You know, not fully, of course, but somewhat here. So let's move these around so you can see them. All right, so grabbing my little tool that has our drill bit here so that we can drill holes in them. This one looks fine, but we'll just make sure. Yep. We're good. I'm just letting that one spin all the way around because it seems to work. It's just about perfect for that. But these ones are so tiny. Like once I get the hole and I know that I'm through, it's hard to grab onto it, so it's just easier to let it kind of go crazy. I know I'm all the way through because I can feel the drill bit go into the cardboard. These ones I'll be able to hold better. Now, sometimes coming from the back is going to be easier just because we know that the back has a hole, whereas the front, it's a lot of times filled in. I do like to come around to the front though and just kind of clean the hole up a smidge. This one, that might be the front. I really do kind of like that. But I also like this side too because it's got some pretty good depth. I don't know. We'll have to see. I haven't fully decided on those. Now you see I'm just kind of going around that whole edge just a smidge to make sure it's cleaned up. Oh, we went through the front, but that's okay. We made it through. It was so clear that I couldn't tell that it was the front side and not the back. But, you know, I get it. Same thing with this one. So that's okay. I've got the angle pretty well down, so it's like I kind of can find right where I need to go. My battery's getting low. Okay. So that is those drilled out. Now I do need to do some cleanup on the edges. A little deburring I think is gonna be mostly what I need to do with these pieces. I might need to do a little bit of sanding just to get the edge down. But this one really, there's just like a little lip. And if I can get that off without having to sand it, that would be kind of ideal. Just the sander makes a lot of dust. And you know, you can inadvertently accidentally sand a little too much. Now I did make this curve a little funky over here on the back side, but we'll hide that. I need to choose what color we're going to put in the background of these ones. I don't know what color I want. There's some chunky. The hardest part working with small pieces like this is that they're small. And your hands, your fingers can, you know, can't change size to accommodate the piece that you're working on. So that can be a little challenging. Not gonna lie. But we're gonna get it. I like the deburring tool for some of these simpler pieces like this. Once you get the hang of it. Just because it's a lot less messy. And there's not a big lip on these by any means. It's a very small, this one's a little bit bigger. It's a pretty small, thin lip. This one I might take my scissors to actually. This one's just a little thicker, so getting our scissors to that really make a difference on it. And then, yeah, that was all that really needed, truthfully. It was easy peasy. Okay. There's just enough of a little bit, like we trim that off. Boom. You just don't want somebody to get cut, you know, putting an earring in. That would not be fun. Plus, you want it to have a finished look, for sure. My daughter ironically said these were too bright. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. You don't have to keep them. I was like, I made these with you in mind. She's like, oh, they're a little too bright. I was like, oh, I really like the color, but okay. I guess it's a little too bright. Maybe I should have muted it a little bit more, but it's all good. I just wanted to try that mica. You can see a little bit of a lip right here. Get that off. Ooh, that's pretty. I actually do kind of like that side. I think that's the side we're gonna go with. Let's forward. We'll seal it with a layer just to give it that finished domed look, especially this one. I got kind of scuffed up on the front. My watch has a magnet in the band and it caught my scissors. Okay. Almost got it. That one I could just knock off with my nail. It's so thin. When they're super thin, you can do that. You can just like brush it right on off and get it out of there. Seems a smidge thick, but I'll try it. We're just going round and round. Trim, trim, trim. Okay. Like it, I like it. That one just has a little bit too. Nothing too major. I think I already did that one. This one. It's just a little trail of it, but perfect. Okay. So, as already, let's bring them over here. Let's determine what color we want to use. These, I might attach a No, because the stud earring, I would have to like fill that hole. Like, could you do something? The colors aren't quite right. It'd be kind of cute to do like a dangling piece or something. But I think for these, I'm just going to leave them that they're just going to be dangle earrings. All of these. And really, I'm thinking silver's just going to be, sorry, I bumped the cord, our best friend. So I think I'm going to just do silver across the board as our color of choice for the hardware. So, let's grab some jump rings. So I take big ones, truthfully, for these, because they're pretty, these holes are pretty small, and you don't need super big ones. But I'm going to use kind of like a standard, I think, size here. I don't know exactly what size they are, but I use this size quite a bit. So this is what we're going to go with. And I'm going to just go ahead and thread the piece into the jump ring, and then make sure that I put the earring piece on to where the back will be correct. This is going to need an extra jump ring in there. Plus we need a little bit of that length on it. So I'm going to do a double jump ring on this one. I could, of course, turn the earring back to be the direction I want, but with this one, I just want a little extra length. So this will help give that. There. Yeah. So it just gives it that little bit extra it needs in there. So that is perfecto. Alright, so 2 of these. I will pull a few out because we're going to need a few anyway. And basically I just find the opening of the jump ring. I open it up. And on the resin piece, I have to open it pretty wide to get it through there. For the piece that you're going to thread the earring through and through the other jump ring, you don't need as wide because you don't have to go through as big of a hole essentially. You just want to make sure that you put your hardware the right direction so that it lays correctly when it's in the ear. And that's right. Those are really cute. I'm not going to cover the back in any color on those. I'm not even going to do anything on the back with them or on the edges. I am going to leave those the way they are, other than I am going to sorry, I'm out of frame. I'm going to top coat them. I couldn't think of what I wanted to do with them. I'm going to shift here. I'm going to shift us so that we're better in. We'll get with it. This is not level. There we go. It's like we're teetering. Alright. Now I try to open the jump ring as little as possible per se. Just so that your integrity of your wiring and everything. Again, these are gonna need some just extra length with it, so I'm gonna add a second jump ring to them. These might be stuck together. Oh yeah, they are full on stuck together. Are these? Oh, these two I can get undone. Almost put that on backwards to what I wanted. I want the, on these ones I'm doing the little white side up on them, and that will be the back. Again, I'm not going to edge that. I'm not going to color the back of it. I think they're just perfect the way they are, other than let's get a dome coat on there. And also when we do the dome coat, that's just gonna basically seal our hardware into the pieces. I'll probably turn the jump rings away that the opening, you know, is in the hole essentially, so that when we do that top coat, it just kind of seals that in there. Let's just put these to the side because they're not coming unstuck anytime soon. That's gonna take me fiddling with them. There's not, at least I haven't found an easy way to like keep your hanging earring backs organized. So mine just sit in like in the toolbox all in a jumble, and I just pull a group of them out, you know, and then I untangle them as I go. That's just how they are. With my normal OCD, yeah, I would love that I could just grab a pair and not have to like search, but it's okay. It's fine. I thought for a second I might have put that one backwards. No, because this one you can see the little sand pieces made it look cool. Okay, so those ones are done. Grab some more jump rings. I'm going to keep going with the same theory of adding another jump ring to these. I just like that little bit extra length with it. So per pair of earring, we are using 4 jump rings and 2 hanging hardwares. This set again, if I can get it threaded, I'm not going to back or edge it. I think it's beautiful the way it is. Plus, these are mine to keep. Because I designed them specifically for me, color-wise. So, yeah, I am not going to do anything further except dome them. Everything really with this is going to be mostly doming. We have some backing to do. There's a little extra lip right there. I want to take off. I don't think anybody but me probably, or another artist looking really closely, would have noticed. But because I noticed it, I can't let it go. Essentially. You know, one of those things. But yeah, I'm gonna really try to keep these pretty simple and not doing a lot. I think really the only 2 are gonna be these 2, and I think it's gonna be just coloring the backs of them. What color? I don't know yet. We're gonna have to look at some colors and try to figure out what we essentially want in those. That's just gonna be what we got to do, you know. So, okay, just one by one. It's a little bit tedious, but if you get on a rhythm, kind of like what I'm doing here, it ultimately isn't going to take too long, and you feel accomplished, because at the end of this, you know, the last series we did do only 3 pairs. This we've got 7 going, so we definitely got a lot more happening. But you know, it's satisfying to see your work come together essentially. This guy's already open for me, which is nice. Yeah, just deciding which way I want to. Woo! It got hooked on my jump ring tool. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get a hold of it with my pliers. Again, sometimes it's just, it's so fine. It's almost like because that one was open already, it's giving me issues. But we're gonna make it work. There we go. Okay. Whew. How to jump it all around. It's like one of those things, like, okay, can we get it together? I gotta plug my watch in. It is low. Low, low, I tell you, low. This is not the direction I wanted. That, yeah. It warned me earlier today that it was low, but a lot of times anymore it warns me and it's like, still got 30–40%. I'm like, well, still got so much time. That's at 5% right now. Ain't done with this. I'll plug it in. Alright. Got myself out of order. I got distracted by the watch because it kept flashing at me and has like a red thing at the top, which is affecting my anxiety, I guess. Though it shouldn't. It's just one of those things. Okay. Where's the opening to be? Yeah, these are so tiny. Not the tiniest thing I've worked with by any means, but it's just definitely catching me like that. Yeah. I do have a certain way that typically I hold it so that I know that I'm putting the back on correctly. So, for me, repetition is very important for me to make sure I'm doing it correctly. If I don't have that repetition of how I do it, I tend to mess up more. So for me, it's like having the same rhythm of which way is going to be front, which way is going to be the back, so that I can really do it I'm just looking which way, so I can ensure that I'm doing it at a loss of words, you know, like, just, I don't know. Anyhow, basically, by having the my system in place and repeating the same steps and having the pieces in the same direction when I attach them, it allows my brain to more easily know which way I'm going and makes me more efficient. If I do it just willy-nilly, I can't keep up and the brain struggles. So I decided, yep, that's gonna be the front. So like when I lay that down, I've already decided this is gonna be the front. I know that that's the front. And then I can put that on this jump ring correctly, and then I know how my back should be on when I loop it, and then voila. All right, getting down there. I love finishing a step. Yeah, we want that to be the front. For sure. Oh, I almost lost that jump ring. Back in the day, that would have devastated me. Now I realize it's not the end of the world. We've got a whole container of them. Looks like I gotta get it. There we go. Got earring piece stuck to me. Got Got another one stuck to me. Okay. Get these looped on here. And then I guess we need to choose our back colors, because these only the backs are going to need done, because the fronts are already domed on. Actually, those might just be done because they're domed on the front. I don't need another layer. Look at there. I like that. We can set them to the side. Like, boom. Done. There we go. Some of these, it's hard to tell where the opening is so that you can open the jump ring. Like, all right. Beautiful. Okay. Let me put our extra pieces away because we don't need them. Here. And I'm going to put my jump ring tool in a safe spot because that's like my precious little jump ring tool. Cannot lose it, though I do have a backup and I do know where to buy them, but still, it's one of those things I just must have. So, all right, now we get to choose what color we are going to put on the back of these two that we need to back. That is the question, and that is stressing me out a smidge because I'm not sure what I want as our back color. I don't want to take away from the pieces by any means. I want to, if anything, enhance them. So I don't really want a bright color or anything of that. I'm just looking at all my colors that I have of my paint pens. That might be an option. Actually, no, that's going to be the option for that. I want to see what color this looks like once I get it open. It might be what I want, it might not be. So let's open it up. Let's try it out over here. Oh, I should have shook it. I should have left my lid on while I shook it, but it's okay. I got so excited that I, you know, forgot the basics here. Like, ooh, it's a pretty color. I don't know if it's going to be the color for this, but it might be. I kind of like that color. Now, I don't love it for that, but I kind of like it for that. It gives it just this nice, soft tone behind without overpowering. Although, that could be really pretty too. Let's, because that worked for me to do kind of a tester on it, I like that. I'm going to get this white one open. Okay. That other one I opened so easily, the little plastic wrap that's like around it, but this one I'm struggling. It's probably because I'm excited. I'm like, ah! This one's going to be harder to tell when the paint comes down around the painter because it's like the same color. But there we go. It's not going to give us the same effect, but it gives us the idea. Now when I'm first laying these on here, I'm not letting it Oh yeah, I like the white better on these ones, and then I'm going to do the purple on that. Okay, I'm not laying it fully on there because that wasn't fully dry, but these are quick drying, so, you know, we know that it's not going to transfer that quickly kind of thing. So, all right, let's see here. Oh, pinched my finger. We're good. He's good. Okay. So I'm feeling which side is domed, and this front side here is domed. So I don't want to touch it. I want to touch the back side with the color. And I'm just going to basically use this to paint it on. And the nice thing about these is that it's a marker. So they're very easy to use. Now you see we're getting some line definitions. We'll work some of that out here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and get up in here, up in here, up in here. All right. So I'm going to go around there. You do want to be careful on your edges, just because you don't want to end up going on the side or in a spot that you don't want the paint color. You do have to be careful sometimes when you get a little thicker, it will start to, almost like a dry erase marker, start to wipe it off because it hasn't dried and it's getting slick and thick. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and then I'll probably do another bit over it because it does look like it's trying to repel it some. And I want to make sure that we get a good coating of it. And then, of course, we're going to seal it with some UV resin, so I'm not going to be worried about it coming off. But obviously, with these pens, once it dries, in theory, it should stay, because these are mark on anything markers. So it's got that pen paint in it. And as you see, I went ahead and made the paint come out a lot thicker with this one, so that I'm not getting those stroke marks, essentially, that I was getting on that one. Oh, good job. We flipped it right over. So that's going to have to be repainted, but we're going to let that one layer dry first. And this is already dry. Like, I can tell when I'm brushing over it, it's already dry. So it's fantastic. And that looks so much better. And of course, like I said, we're going to go over it with UV resin, so we shouldn't have any issues with it. Yeah, that's probably not quite dry enough. But I really don't want to have to pull out this pen again, so we're making it work. Had a few little air bubbles. Those are more noticeable when we start coloring the resin, but that's okay. That's part of the art. All right, those backs will dry. Let's do these ones. Again, these ones I know because the white is on the front, but you can also feel based on how it's domed, and then I know which is the front, since we put the domed side to the front. Anyway, we domed these essentially in the mold, which is nice when you can do that. And we didn't over dome them to where we were having to sand a ton to get them cleaned up, which is even better. So let me just kind of, you know, keep rolling. This one I edged it nicely and then just working our way down to fill in. That came out nice. Try to leave it there so it can dry and I not flip it. Okay, that one, yeah, okay. White is on the front. Perfect. And I'm moving the hardware out of the way for us to paint all the way around because we want it to look as complete as possible. And if you don't do that, your top portion there is going to be without the paint, and it's just not going to have as good of a look, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Do what you want. When you do it yourself, you can do what you want, but that's my take on it. All right. I do like these paint pens. And it's very satisfying on the resin to do them. There's just something about it that's very relaxing, painting the resin, I will say. So, there we go. Okay, cool. We lost one of our yellow ones because it followed me with my watch. Oh my gracious. This is downright stunning. Like, that came out way better than I thought it would. I'm going to let it keep drying. It's definitely still drying because I put such a thick coat on it. I'm going to let those dry a little bit longer before we go curing them. And I'll, of course, show y'all these when we get closer to done here. I had to turn that over. I'm going to hit a little heat on them just to speed the process up. Give it a little heat. Yay. Okay. Keep grabbing these earrings with my watch. Alright, so we really are only going to need one side cured. So I am going to essentially do these on our silicone mat on my resin tray. And I'll probably just bring the resin light over here and not worry about, you know, moving it all around kind of thing. That's kind of my plan. Now, I'm probably not going to do all of these at the same time. I'm just trying to get the opening of this jump ring moved to the inside. I'm not going to do them all at the same time. We're going to do a few different curing sets. Oh, we pulled our earring piece off. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Did we full on lose it? Did I not have it when I... Who wants to go back and tell me where it went? Okay, these ones I'm not going to do anything with because I'm happy with them. We're going to set them over to the side ready for display purposes, y'all, because you know what? I want them on display. Well, what's funny is here's the jump ring that goes to that. So I would have thought that the earring piece would be, you know, I mean, in the area, but it is not. So let me see if I can get one here without having to pull that out. Okay, yay. Gracious. Oh, I'm doing this without my jump ring tool, so we're gonna do it the old school way. We're gonna give myself a challenge. So if you don't have a jump ring tool, you can use pliers. 2 flat-nosed is the way to go. If you only do one, the issue becomes that you are trying to use your fingers to do the work of 2 of these. And that just is not easy to do. So we get it looped. Let's loop this on there. and then we take the other side and we just bring them together. So that's the difference. The jump ring tool just helps give that a more easy transition. That's all it is. All it be. And I will tell you, I have made jewelry since I was a teenager. Okay, we don't need to talk about how old I am and how old school, blah blah blah. All right, what I will tell you is that I have gotten really good with the plier system because I didn't always have that jump ring tool, and that's been my saving grace in the later years. So I got really good at the 2-part plier tool, because I even, when I was growing up, I had to walk to school up the hill. Now, but when I first started out, 1, I didn't have the jump ring. 2, I will tell you that I didn't have 2 flat nose pliers. I had 1 rounded plier and 1 flat nosed. Now, you would think, oh, I should have just gotten another flat nose. Well, that probably have made a lot of sense to most people and to myself. But if you know any of my background, didn't always have a ton of money in the family, and I probably could have bought myself a pair, but there wasn't a lot of time to go places even. And this is pre-Amazon, delivered to your door. Probably why I love Amazon so much. So just, while I'm thinking of it, and I wouldn't ever really think about it until I was sitting down to do it. And a lot of times when I was doing it, my parents weren't available. So I couldn't be like, hey, next time we go to the hardware store or wherever, or the craft store for that matter, but it was more likely we would end up at a hardware store than a craft store, for sure, with the farm. I wouldn't know to think to ask, essentially. So, I know it sounds silly, probably to some, but maybe not. If you grew up on a farm, grew up in my family, wouldn't be so crazy. Grew up on a farm, parents were part of a religious cult situation. You know, it's fine. It's all good. I'm normal. AB normal, right? I think I might have scared my therapist the very first time we had a session, because let me rephrase this. So I might have scared her because one of the first times that we had a session that wasn't strictly related to grief of losing my mom, she's like, well, tell me a little bit more about you, you know, give me some background, what makes you want to do therapy to better yourself, like, you know. And I'm like, well, I think I have a little childhood trauma, like, not maybe trauma in, you know, abuse sense or this or that sense, but definitely have some things to unpack. She's like, okay, love for you to elaborate. I'm like, okay. We have an hour, right? Like, where do I start? So I start chronologically from the beginning. I'm like, well, this is my life. This is my family. This is my family. I mean, goodness. My dad and his wife didn't get out of it until more recently. So, you know, it's all good. I'm just using my nail to see if those are, I think they're good. I might just let them go under the lamp one more time when we do these ones. Just to give it a little extra. I'm going to do these two. The ones that are these small ones, I was worried about the resin like falling off, but it looks like they stayed on pretty good, and I'm not going to worry about them too much. I think I got in the hole perfectly. I feel like that will hold that jump ring in place. Just what I want to do. Wow. So this is why doming is so important, y'all. When you add a dome layer to your resin, it gives it another layer of popping, especially your jewelry. Now, I wouldn't dome layer my coasters, all right? Because if you dome layer them, you may not have they may not end up flat as you'd want them. And if your coasters are going to do what they're supposed to, which is hold a drink, and they're not flat, you're going to run into some problems. You know what I mean? So that's why I would say I wouldn't dome those. But for jewelry purposes, it's so important to dome because it really did make this layer just pop. Like, and when I bring them closer, you'll be able to see that. The layers just go to another level. And it's hard to describe until you do it. I even think on video, it just doesn't come through. Because let's face it, the camera can only go so far and can't get maybe all the fine detail. So, you know, just one of those things that I would say, you know, it's just important to do that. And when you do it in person, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, it just takes it to another level. Sometime I'm gonna have to do a comparison. I'm gonna have to do a side by side and be like, look, here's the one domed, here's the one not domed. You tell me. Because it pops, especially when we're right here in front of it. Okay. Sorry, my watch just needs to come off my wrist. We're getting text messages, and then the text message is staying on my screen, and I'm like, y'all don't need to see. You know, we gotta keep some privacy here. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so those I'm going to keep here because I want them to stay a smidge longer. Over there. This purple one has a little piece that is definitely sharp, and so I'm just going to, and then a little piece that probably domed a little too far. I'm just going to take my scissors. I know I'm not on the camera, but I wanted to just trim that little piece while I'm looking at it. Man alive, y'all. Okay, so these, because we painted the backs and the backs were a little on the rougher side, I want to get the backs a layer of resin on them. I think it's just important to get those to seal fully up. And the fronts were already pretty well domed, so I'm not worried about the fronts having a layer. And truthfully, on the back, we don't need a very thick layer. I probably even put a little too much on that one from the standpoint of that I just need it to be a thin layer to coat over the paint, essentially. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It's just to get around the paint, you know. So we're going to bring it to our edges. You can really see where the resin is on the painted backs. So we're bringing it to all of our edges, making sure that it, you know, comes to the edge, and then it's going to pull itself just naturally back kind of to the center. But, and this one I might not have put enough on, but we'll make sure that it still coats everything and doesn't end up with a pool that's not got it. And it's just a matter of bringing it, I like to do like what I'm doing, little wisps to the edges, because I find that brings just enough to the edge, but it's not going to overflow. And it allows it to go to that edge and then kind of repel itself back to the center in a way. automatically. And then I fill in any gaps that might need it once I finish kind of brushing to our edges. And you'll see I'm kind of going down, and then I might pop up a little bit, and then I'm going down, might pop up a little bit, and then I'm just making sure that it's, you know, full on in there. Okay. I do see a bubble on this one more because of a shadow, so I'm just going to pop that. And I lost 2 earrings to the floor because they stuck to my elbow. I know, odd. But actually I lost 1 to the floor. 1 was still stuck to my arm. This is crafting with Beck's Creations. Don't worry. It's all good. I just saw a marker all the way under my desk. Well, that is curing. Because, you know, a girl with ADHD has definitely got to keep herself busy. And if I didn't grab that marker while I saw it, guess what? I forgot it was there. All right. I'm so excited to show these to y'all. This is so exciting. This is so exciting. Okay. I'm wondering if those need... I'm going to let them fully cure up, you know, a good 24, 48 hours before, like, I would even do anything with them anyway. So I'm not super worried about getting it full on cured. It repelled on that one a little, but it's okay. Man, that white background, y'all, was the way to go for sure. And it's funny, the way I laid these out on this display was non-intentional, just how it happened. I'll show y'all here in un momento. Okay, so it's funny because I did the 2 kind of triangular ones on both sides over here. I did the 2 rounded ones down at the bottom on the sides, and then I did all of our circles in the middle, and I wasn't even intending to. All right, let's turn our flash on because we need it for this. Look at those with that white background, those swirls. I mean, they just pop. And it's hard to tell that that is truly part of the earring because it's on this white background as is. But there you go. Is that not just gorgeous? I sure do think so. For sure. And then look at these yellow ones. The ones that my daughter says are a little bright. These, I'm hoping I can get the camera to focus in. They have kind of this very glittery shimmer in them with the wisps of white, and they are gorge. These have so many layers, and the camera is just not going to do it justice. All the layers that are within these. There's just a lot of layering, and that dome made them pop so much. Nothing too exciting about those ones, but they're cute. They have a little bit of detail in them from the sand pieces and the white. Pretty neat. These ones, we didn't do anything to. We didn't have to dome them. We didn't have to back them. We just made them into earrings. And they're gorgeous. I mean, look at the shimmer, the details. I'm trying to hold this at an angle so that you can see it without losing all the earrings. But yeah. And then we have these ones with our purpley back. I do like that. It came out really good. I think they're really gorgeous too. But I have to say, now I am a little biased because I made these specifically for myself. I love these. And these are gorgeous and stunning. And they came out better than I could imagine for myself. But I will say a really close one to my favorite would probably be these ones. I want to make more of those. Different colored ones, you know, and I think the alcohol ink being as thin as it is in these makes it just really pop and be beautiful. And then I love putting that just simple white background on them, and it just really made them come to life. I mean, there's just, oh, the camera's not focusing. There's so many details and layers. It's gorgeous. So this winter, when I'm unable to do resin pours because it's too cold in the craft space, guess what we're going to be making? We are going to be making some gorgeous earrings and maybe some teacher gifts with that. Or, you know, family and friends, Christmas time, birthday gifts. These are fantastic and they're so easy. So, hope you enjoyed. That was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed making those, and I want to make more like this. I also love this design. I mean, all of them are really pretty in their own right, but yeah, I would say my faves are these two right here for sure. They came out super great. Alrighty, y'all. Well, another week done. Another series done. This wrapped up a series, actually. So, next series, we are going to be back to some pouring of resin, and I'm super excited. So, definitely stay tuned. It is going to be maybe my longest series ever, just based on what I need to accomplish. I will explain more. I know it's a teaser, but I got to keep you guys coming back. Don't forget to hit subscribe, follow me if you want to. No pressure. But I enjoy doing this and showing you guys how it all comes together. I'll see you guys again. See, it is bedtime for me. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.